Right, welcome back to maths. This is the last one. This is number 38 sessions, and in this one we're going to finish off the statistics. Okay. Now, last time we spoke about statistics where we had a set, if you remember, of given numbers. So it was how many red cars, how many blue cars, or how tall each person was, or the ages of each person. And we could work out X bar, which is the average, the mean, with a mode. Remember, the mode is the most. We could have bimodal or even trimodal if you had three that are all the same. And we also worked out what the median was by counting off, remember? And if we got a median on an even data set, we took the average of the two. Okay. Now, how do we do this with grouped data? First of all, let's just talk about what grouped data is. Okay. This term of a class interval, right? A class interval, or CI as it's abbreviated, is between some things, right? Let's say, for example, we are taking the entire grade results of a test, an English test, a maths test, or whatever. Each person, okay, there could be 120 people or more in the grade, right? But heck, we're not going to take each person and plot it out, are we? So what do? We group it. We say, okay, between 0 and 10%, between 10 and 20%, just be careful, because what happens if somebody's got 10%? So I can't do that. I've got to say 11 to 20, 21 to 30, okay, 31 to 40. Can you see what's happened? I can't, because each one, if somebody got 10%, they've got to fall into that category. They can't fall in there. I could have had 0 to 9 and then 10 to 19. Can you see? Right? So you can't repeat. All right? So when we've got this, we've got to make sure that our class interval, in other words, X lies, and we say bigger than that, less than that, or less than equal to there. It could also be that way. All right? That also tells us where it's going to fit. All right? In the one we've got here, okay, it's got to be that way. Okay? There. Oops, sorry. Okay? In other words, it's going to be bigger than that, less than equal to that one, right? Bigger than that, less than equal to that one. Can you see it? So if it's 10, it's there. If it's 11, it's there. All right? So be very careful and look carefully what you're given with regard to the class interval. Okay? If you are not given a class interval and asked to find one, how do you go about that? Highly unlikely they're just going to let you go without any guidance. They normally will give you, especially in these grades, a guiding sort of idea. Okay? The other reason they give you a guiding idea is because the person who marks it, I mean, imagine even at university, the person who's marking 200 papers doesn't want 200 different ideas of what it should be. So they kind of give you an indication of what to do, okay? Because they want to be able to look at it and see it quickly, okay? But generally, you'll take your highest minus your lowest, okay? That gives you your range, doesn't it? Okay? And you'll take the range and divide it by some number that gives you how many class intervals, right? And that gives you an idea of where to start to plot it, okay? Don't be too phased about that, okay? So we've got a class interval, right? Now, what we've got to do is we've got to say, all right, let's just take an example, all right? There is what I like to refer to as a standard table, all right? Where they give you a class interval, let's just write it across here. Take you down a little bit over here so I can go all the way across the page. First of all, there's the class interval. like that. Then there's a tally table, okay, over here. Then there's F, which is actually, I must write that the correct way around. There is the frequency, which is F, okay? Then there's what's called XI, which is the midpoint. Don't worry what's this all about. Then there is F multiplied by XI, okay? These are just straightforward tables that you're going to see. And this is how you split it. Because what are we trying to do? We are trying to find the mode, the median, and the mean for grouped data. Because we don't know it, okay? Because it falls somewhere inside the groupings, right? Because we don't have individual data to work with. So what do we say? We say, all right, first of all, we put our class interval down, okay? Let us say our class interval is between 0 and 20, okay? And we go 20 to 40, and 40 to, I think, 60, 60 to 80, 80 to 100. I'm going to have to shift my page up a little bit, which I knew about a while back. 60 to 80, 80 to 100, 100 to 120, and 120 to 140. And let's say we've got these as our tally tables, 3, and here we had and here we had, and here we have, and there we have that, okay? Now, they want us to find the mode, median, mean of all of this lot, all right? So our class interval, let's have a look, x less than or equal to, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than x, less than or equal to, okay? So if it was 40, it falls in there. If it is 60, it falls there. If it's 41, it falls into the next category. Right. Now, what is all this rest about? Well, what is the frequency? The frequency is add up the tally tables. So my frequency is 1, 3, 7, 9, 5, 2, and 1. Then you always draw a line under the 2 points there. Okay. Now, what is the class interval? The class interval is 20. I'm not saying what it is, percent or whatever it is, it doesn't matter. All right, the class interval is just 20. All right. So, let's take the frequency. Hang on. What was this here? This was counting whatever that lay between 0 and 20. There was only one of them. So the frequency is 1. So if I add up the total of the frequency, I get 28. Because it's the same number as counting the total tallies. And the total little marks I made on my tally sheet was what? It was the total number of readings that I took. Wasn't it? So the number of crosses or ticks or lines or whatever I made on my tally sheet, that was the total number of readings. Total number of people, total number of whatever. So if I add up the frequency, I must get you the total number of people in my sample or total number of readings. Now, what is this midpoint thing here? Okay, the midpoint, because it's grouped data, let's just think about this a second, shall we? One of my students the other day came up with a brilliant one, and just to share it with you, we were sitting doing some maths together, and the student turns around and says, now for a change of plan, let me think. And I thought that was such a beaut, okay? Now for a change of plan, let me think. Need to say it led to a good laugh. Right, what is this midpoint business, right? Let's just think for a second here. Right? We know that between 80, or let's take, yes, between 80 and 100. Whoops. Between 80 and 100, we got a tally of 5. So there were 5, let's say 5 readings, 5 people, 5 masses. Yeah, 5 masses that we measured were between 80 and 100. Okay? What were they? We don't know. And we actually, for group data, don't really care. Because all we know is that 5 people had a mass of between 80 and 100 kilograms, let us say. Okay? But hold on, if we want to work out the average, the mean, we need to know, because it's the sum total of everything. So what is it? We don't know. There could have been 4 people of 80 and 1 person of 100. There could have been 4 people of 90 and 1 person of 80. Can you see how the mean or the average is skewed from the one side to the other side, just in there? So what do? We say, okay, the average mass in the middle is going to be 180 over 2, which is 90. So we're going to then say, let's say 5 people at 90 each. Therefore, it's 5 nines 450, okay, is there. So what we've done is we've actually said we don't know what the individual is between those 2 points. Okay? All we're saying is we're going to take the mean, the average between the 2 class intervals, the average of the class interval, and take that times the frequency. Okay? So what I've said is, on here we're going to find what is the midpoint. Alright? So the midpoint between 20 and 0 is going to be 20 plus 0 over 2, which is going to be 10. Okay? The next one's going to be 40 plus 20 over 2, which is going to be 30. Then it's going to be 50. Okay? 60 plus 40 over 2. Can you see that? Next one is 60 plus 80 over 2, which is going to be 70, 90, 110, and 130. So essentially what we're saying is that the one person down here has got a mass of, say, 130 kilos, and up here, okay, it's silly because you can't have 10 kilos and be measuring these people, but then we say frequency times xi, which is the midpoint. Let's rewrite that and say, okay, it's frequency times midpoint. Okay, just to make it easier to remember, so this is 1 times 10, which is 10. This is going to be 3 at 30, which is going to be 90. Okay, 3 times 30 is 90. Let's complete the table. All right, it's going to be 7 times 50. Okay, which is 350. It's going to be 9 times 70, which is 630. It's going to be 5 times 90, which is 450. Okay, 2 times 110, 220, and 1 times 130, 130. Then what do we do here? We do the same thing, and I'm going to put sigma, sigma. You add them up, you get 1880. All right? Now, what do we do next? We say, okay, what is the mean? Well, the mean was adding them all up and dividing by the number, wasn't it? Remember, that's what we did with all the data before. In this case, what are we going to do? We're going to take add them all up and divide by the number. 1880 divided by 28. Okay, so we say therefore x bar is 1880 divided by 28. All right, that's going to be the mean, which is 67.14. Okay, and I haven't said what we're talking about. Doesn't really matter. All right, what is the median? Okay, so the median The question we're asking ourselves here is, where is the middle? How do you find the middle of this data here? How do you find the middle of all of this? Okay? How do we find the middle of all of that stuff? Well, first of all, we say to ourselves, okay, it's grouped data, we need to find the middle. Okay? So question 1, when we're looking for the median, we say, if it's even data set, okay, then it means that it's 28 is n, right? Therefore even. And what do we do with even? Okay, therefore we know the middle is between 2, remember? Between 2 numbers. Okay, remember that? The middle is between 2. Go back to the last section. What did we have there? We had, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We said cross off, cross off, cross off, cross off. And if it was even, 6, it means that it was between number 3 and number 4. So it's the middle of 2. So what do? We take it, it's 6 over 2 and the next one up. So in this case, it's between number 14 and 15, correct? It's between number 14 and number 15. You take the divider, divide it by half, okay? That's the middle point, and it's the next one up. It's between those two, okay? You can always work it out for yourself from that. So it's number 14 and 15, okay? Now, where is the person who's holding up flag number 14? Let's go back up to our data. Let's find this person, okay? This is critical, okay? Green, let's say. Well, here's person number 1, right? So that's the lowest person, the smallest or the shortest or whatever it was. There's 3 people in the next category. So if we gave them numbers, they'd be number 1, 2, 3, and 4 would be in there. Okay? 5, 6, 7, 8, etc. would be in there, wouldn't we, if we gave them all numbers? Just think about it again. The person standing in that block, the block of 0 to 20, there's 1 person. How many people are standing in the next block? There's 3 people, right? There's 7 people in the next block, there they are. So we get something called a cumulative frequency. Now, cumulative frequency is just a very nice way of saying we add up the frequencies, right? What have we got? We've got the tally table. F frequency, right, was in our previous case, okay, it was this here. It was 1, 3, 7, 9. Remember those? So what's the cumulative frequency? It's 1, 4, 7 plus 4. Can you see? Is 7, 8, 9, 10, that's 11. 11 plus 9 is 20. So what it means, the person we're looking for is number 14. The person holding number 14 doesn't lie there, doesn't lie there. The person holding number 14 lies in here, doesn't he? Because when we go out of, let's say, block number, let me just show you this slightly differently. 0 to 20, 20 to 40, 40 to 60, okay? 60 to 80. Okay? I'm just going to draw pretend blocks. How many people are standing there? There's 1. Remember we said we had 3 people standing in there, didn't we? Right? There were 3 tallies. In the next one we had 7. So I can't really going to draw all 7, but let me do so. 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. How many people were in the next block? There was 9. So I'm just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There were 9 people in that block, right? Let's give them each a ticket and say, okay, you hold it up. You're holding 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Can you see? I'm numbering those people all the way, giving them a ticket, right? I'm looking for number 14 and 15. Those are my medians, aren't they? Okay? 28 divided by 2 gives me 14, plus another 1 gives me between 14. Where is person holding up ticket 14 and 15? Where are they? There they are. They are in the class 60 to 80. So in order to answer this, we say the median, okay, class interval. All right? So we're going to answer it. Where is the median? It's in the class interval, was 60 to 80. That is where those people, remember, were holding up their flags. There they are. Okay? I know this is a little bit of mine, but just pretend you got little people or whatever standing there, okay? Holding up, that's where that person is. The person holding it up is sitting in there. Okay? Then, you basically have now found where you are. That's where the median person is in the 60 to 80 class. So, what's the modal class? Okay? Now, in this case, the mode is actually referred to as the modal class. And where is it? You look for the highest frequency. Okay, where are the most people? Hang on, let's go back, have a look. If you have a look back there, you'll see your modal class, okay, is going to be 60 to 80 as well. Okay, frequency is going to be equal to 9. That's where the most people, it's the class. We can no longer give a number. We've got to give a class to each one, right? Okay. Then we say, right, okay, we found the median is in whatever. All right. Let's just have a look. What happens if we were asked if we had an uneven, an odd number in the data set? Okay, what do we do here? All right, well, if we had an odd number in the data set, we do what? Well, let's say finding the median, say 29 people. Say we had 29 people. Okay, how do we find the median? What person are we looking for? Well, we say we're looking for the middle. It's 29 over 2. Okay, 29 over 2 is 14 and a half. We cannot find the 14 and a half, so we find this is our median person, the 15th. We round up. Divide by 2, round up. So if it's even, right, divide by 2, take that one and the next one. Okay? If it's odd, divide by 2 and round up to the next one. That gives you your median, right? Now, the last piece of the statistics, okay, is this whole business of upper quartile, median, and lower quartile, also for reduced, or rather for group data, okay? Yeah. The essentially, what are we saying? We're saying the upper quartile, okay? Think of it like this. Got 0 to there, all right? This is the lowest and this is the highest, all right? What are you doing when you find the median? You find the middle, which means that 50% of the data lies there, and 50% of the data lies there, correct? Now what the next step is, they want us to find the interquartile range. The median is called Q2. This is called Q1 and Q3. Okay? What are they saying? They're saying, and how do you do it? Well, simple. You find the median first. Then you find the median again. This is Q1. So 25% lie there and 25% lie there. What do we do in the next? You find the median and then you find the median again. You find this guy. So what does it mean? 25% lie there and 25% lie there. Okay? So all you're doing to find, this is called the 5-number summary. Okay? You take the lowest and the highest, okay? Or the box and whisker plot. Okay, you'll see that term as well. All right? You find the interquartile range is these guys here. This is the interquartile range, right? And what does all this mean? What do we do? Well, you take your numbers from lowest to highest, okay? Find the median, which means count off on the sides, okay? That gives us Q2. There we go. Q2 is over here, right? Q2. Then you find the median of the next bit down, okay? In other words, the middle of the first half. Then you find the middle of the second half, okay? That gives us Q1 and Q3. So we've got, we just use green here now. We've got 1 number, 2 number, 3 number, 4 number, 5 number, 5-number series. And what do? You plot them on a line, and generally speaking, you are going to draw them like this. Okay? You just get a clean sheet here. You're going to draw them something like this. You're going to say, right, this is my lowest, this is my highest. You put there, then you're going to plot them there and plot them there. Then you're going to plot Q1, Q and Q3 like that, okay? And you're going to have lowest is a number Q1, Q2, Q3. And there's your numbers like that, right? That is how you will plot the 5-number summary of the data. And if they ask you for the interquartile range is, this is the IQ range. Most important thing to know with this when you've done it is that that's 25%, which means that's 50%, which means that there is 75%. So therefore, it means that if they say to you, how many students lie, or how many students fall into the whatever range, you can go and say, but hold on, if they say how many fall in there, it's 25% of the number. So it's cumulative 0 to 25, but it's also 25 there, 25 there, and 25 there. So a quarter of the students, let's say, are above that number. Half are below and half are above the Q2, aren't they? All right? I hope that we've gone through and given enough detail on the stats. As I say, what we're going to do is in the next section in the exam and the test prep, I'm going to do some old questions, and those are the ones. The nice thing about this is you'll be able to print them out, and we can go through them together. It's very difficult for me to, in a video of 30 minutes, do a full question, write it down, write the tally table, especially with stats, because there's a lot of table work, and it's kind of a bit of a waste of your time, you watching me sort of write numbers down onto a table. Thanks for watching Maths. We've gone through 38 sessions of about half an hour each, about 19 hours of Maths. It's been fun for me. I hope that it's been fun for you. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've taken away the recipes and the basics of it, and to some extent demystified a lot of this maths. It's really not that difficult. I know a lot of people moan and complain. The big problem is actually to sit down and do it. It's not a learning subject. It's a doing subject. Thanks for watching. It's been an absolute pleasure. I look forward to seeing you grade 11, grade 12, AP Maths, which is there, physics and chemistry as well. Thanks again, and all the best and good luck. And I sincerely hope that through these videos, it's given you confidence, and we've done enough examples, and you're doing the exam prep, and you get a great result. Thanks. All the best. Good luck. Bye.